You gotta burn for this, Angel.
I know. In hell.
Tonight, we are delighted to welcome to the stage Ireland's most fabulous drag queen and famous activist, Panti.
Hello everyone, thank you very much for joining in. Forgive the austere music, it's not to scare anyone, it's just that it pertains to the second issue in this video, betrayal, but in the context of the video that I want to make on this. So, it's very strange. Years ago, as I put it in the description on this video, is that when Richard Dawkins, Professor Dawkins, compared the atheist movement, the emerging atheist movement, to the gay rights movement, he was far from foolish or stupid. And regardless of anyone's views on that, being an atheist doesn't mean that you approve or disapprove or agree with the gay community or anything else like that. But, well, unless you're just a good old homophobe, it just seemed that it was a great analogy, simply because you're trying to change the course of history and push something that's traditionally taboo, underground, and bring it out and be seen as normal, sentient, nice human beings, not bothering anyone. So in the atheist campaign, we've, as I say, Dawkins did it, and I continue to use that analogy. Same thing. I was inspired recently by a man called Rory O'Neill. I'm going to put a link in the description here in Mr. Panti's speech at the Abbey Theatre after a story that happened in Dublin that he was, well, look, Google it, Rory O'Neill. It was a big story in Ireland. It's gone viral on YouTube. Interesting speech in the context, but I'm using it as an analogy.
My name is Panti, and for the benefit of the visually impaired or the incredibly naive, I am a drag queen. I am also a performer of sorts, and an accidental and occasional gay rights activist. But I do know a little something about oppression, or at least oppression is something that I can relate to. Now, I am not, of course, for a minute going to compare my situation to Dublin workers in 1913, but I do know what it feels like to be put in your place. It feels oppressive, and when it really does hurt is afterwards, because it's afterwards that then I wonder and worry and obsess over, what was it about me? I mean, what did they see in me? What was it that gave me away?
I completely, line after line, corresponded with what he had to say. I think that we're even sort of no disrespect to our gay friends, being an atheist is even a lower form of life, and I'm quite frankly sick of it. And one of the reasons I'm making this video, well, the complete reason I'm making this video, is having been dismissed, not overtly mind you, twice now in the last couple of years from my professional employment, obviously because of my views as a non-believer. And I don't want to do name and shame here, but I'm frankly getting fucking sick of this bullshit. I have some evidence in this case. I could name and shame, but I'm not going to, because I don't want to be as dirty rat bastards like the people who've done this to me again. And I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm not crying here. I'm still a young guy. Don't worry. I get a job tomorrow. I already have, actually. But it's just sickening, and it has to be said. So I don't want to see this to be seen as a, you know, a crying in your milk video. The thing is, when you're sacked as an atheist, it'll often, and it'll often be dressed up for every other reason except for what's at the crux of the issue.
Have any of you ever come home in the evening and turned on the television and there is a panel of people, you know, nice people, respectable people, smart people, the kind of people who probably make good neighbourly neighbours, the kind of people who write for newspapers, and they're all sitting around and they are having a reasoned debate on the television, a reasoned debate about you, about what kind of person you are, about whether or not you're capable of being a good parent, about whether you want to destroy marriage, about whether or not you're safe around children, about, you know, whether or not God herself thinks you're an abomination, about whether in fact maybe you are intrinsically disordered. And even the nice TV presenter lady that you feel is like almost a friend because you see her being nice on TV all the time to identify it. Straight people have lined up, ministers, senators, barristers, journalists have lined up to tell me what homophobia is and to tell me what I am allowed to feel oppressed by. People who have never experienced homophobia in their lives, people who have never checked themselves at a pedestrian crossing, have told me that unless I am being thrown into prison or herded onto a cattle truck, then it is not homophobia. And that feels oppressive. And so now, Irish gay people, we find ourselves in this ludicrous situation where we are not only not allowed to say publicly what we feel oppressed by, we're not even allowed to think it.
Anyway, that's the point. It is a sad thing in journalism when, you know, you can never be off duty and you can't have a life of your own. You know, as an atheist, never off duty because you represent, you know, someone's petty publication. Anyway.
Disallowed by our betters.